Well, hello there, YouTube, and welcome to Friday, the 2nd of December, 2022. This year is just about done. And it's funny, it just seems like it was, I don't know, a month or two ago that it was the beginning of the year. How the old time, she just slips on by. I don't know what the weather's supposed to do today. It's 31 degrees out here. Snow's either, I don't think it's melting as much as it's evaporating. But yeah, let's bust out a Friday. Y'all come on along. Oh, mama, that was a very pleasing, and once we got off the mountain, dry.
I know it. That was crazy.
Yeah.
It's like nobody else got snow or what?
Yeah, no sign that snow hit anywhere around here.
Yeah, that's good.
You never know. It's funny, just that amount of distance away.
Yeah.
Crazy. And it's 42 here.
Yeah, that's warmer.
Yeah. Huh. Oh, well. Well, mama,
Yes, sir.
have a wonderful Friday.
You too, sweetie.
Yeah, that's going to be, I'm going to be thinking it's Monday all day today.
Yeah.
I'll be all messed up. And then at the end of the day, go, wait, it's Friday.
I know.
Yay! Man, that's why they call it Friday.
Yay, Friday.
Yeah. All right, mama, have a wonderful day.
You too.
All right. Love you. See you. Bye.
I love ya.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
So, you know, those M12 batteries, I knew I had another 6 amp somewhere. I just found it in the bottom of my toolbox. Look at this thing. I don't know if I've ever even used it. I don't know how I ended up with so many batteries. I think it used to be when you ordered or when you bought tools from them, they all came as a kit. Now the new fad is it's tool only, no batteries. There's somebody honking out here. A UPS driver must be off today because he knows the code to the. He's got the key to the gate. It's just a code. You guys ever wondered what the oil pumps look like out of a 1330? So this first one. This is the one that takes oil from the crankcase, which is the biggest one in question here, and pushes it back up to the oil tank, which is that whole cavity across, goes from one side to the other. This inner one is a Scavenger pump that it pulls oil from the top end and pushes it back to the tank. This one on the top, you'll see this is a double decker. This is the one from the crankcase back to the tank. That's the one that's pulling cam chain area and stuff like that and goes back to the tank. This one is the pressure pump. That's your one and only pressure pump. And that's this one over here. There is one other Scavenger pump on the other side, kind of buried in between the HCM over there somewhere. And that's also a Scavenger pump, just pulling stuff off of that side of the engine, just where the clutch is at. There's definitely some scoring. I was expecting to see way more damage, but there's enough. I don't know. Definitely some wear on the pumps. I was hoping this one would be just absolutely smoked. But again, you know, it's definitely got some wear on it. As far as I know, he's always been using BRP oil change kits. Hopefully he has. Don't mess around with that. That's, I keep preaching that. So I've got the pumps, the 3 pumps, and then the 2 covers, because usually when a pump starts to go, it takes the cover out. You can clearly see some scoring on there. I don't know. I see some wear and stuff like that, but I was expecting to see something just absolutely smoked. But if it was that bad, he'd be in here for more than just a vibration. So, you know, he's been complaining about this vibration for quite a while, and came across a case on the dealer forum where someone had explaining the exact same thing, and it was a Scavenger pump. And what was happening is the crankshaft, the oil level was staying too high in the crankcase. So the crank and pistons were slapping around in the oil. These dry sump motors only have oil, just the amount of oil required to run in the engine at any time. This is an old race trick from everybody uses them now. It's kind of rare for an engine to be a wet sump engine these days. They're there, but not in mass by any means. So the big thing is the crankshaft is not bathing and slapping around in the oil. You get better performance, better mileage. It has a cooling effect, moving oil from one area to another. It tends to cool things down. And but luckily no damage to any of the surface areas, because that is a crankcase set. Of course, the transmission's back here. You can see where it bolts on. You guys familiar with Harleys? This thing literally bolts onto the back of the engine in a very similar way to a Harley. But the only difference with this is it actually purges oil. Oil runs through the transmission. It's just one oil that does the engine transmission. But anyway, here's where your starter is. And then you've got the starter that runs this gear, runs an idler gear. And that turns the crunking shaft. Whoa. Actually, I think it goes that way, didn't it? No, it goes forward. But, and then this is an idler gear that sits in here. And this starter clutch gear is when it's, I don't know where it's turning from. Oh, it rides right off the crankshaft. That turns the two pumps. This is the upper pump, which is the main one. Good Lord, that wind does that, and I think somebody's trying to bust through the door. So this is the upper, oh no, I'm sorry, this is the lower Scavenger pump. This is the upper oil pump, and that's the upper gear. One thing's nice, can't mix nothing up. Big Scavenger pump, small Scavenger pump, and a pretty elaborate oil pressure pump. Here we are. That's what I've been tinkering around with here, investigating and studying and trying to figure out, is this what's really going on? But anyway, this on that message on the dealer forum, they replaced the Scavenger pump and the vibration went away. But there was a trick. You got to check the oil a certain way, and the oil is too low in the tank, which means more of it staying down in there. I could never get it to do it. I explained to him, what the guys were saying, and he was able to duplicate the problem where there was not enough oil in the tank, which means it was all riding down there. So here we are. He says, do it. And this is what we're doing. That vibration, which I actually kind of like the way it feels. I really like the way it feels. But, he doesn't like it at all. It's a frequency that numbs his hand. Like the old Softail, the old balance motor, like the 103B, the 96B, the 88B, the whatever they all were. They had that chain-driven balancer, one on each side. And that thing at like 75, for me, created a high-frequency buzz that absolutely put my hands numb. Plus, it was so balanced that, it was like the old Goldwing trick. You could almost set a nickel on this thing. The Harley balanced ones. Now they do it differently. The touring motors have a single counterbalancer, which just kind of mutes things a little bit. And then like the Softails, the ones that are using that motor, has dual gear driven counterbalancers, and they don't create that high frequency buzz at freeway speeds. They just feel good all the time. I really like the way the Softail motors feel nowadays, the Milwaukee 8s. They kind of have like a huckabuck to them at lower speeds, and I don't know, you'd think it would be more balanced, but it's almost like the touring motors feel a little more balance than the soft tails do, even though the touring motor only has one balancer. Anyway, whatever all they do, I love it. Nothing like the old days. But I do miss when you're idling with one of the old twin cams, non-balanced. Just did not like them balance motors, but whatever, to each their own. I like them things sitting there like shaking so bad you can't even see out of the mirrors when you stop at a stoplight. Before they changed, the engine mounts and stuff and smoothed a lot of that out. That's some good stuff, man. It's old classic stuff. Let them rumble. You know that thing's alive underneath you. Anyway, back to the task at hand here. I'll do some, heavy cleaning so I can do some deep investigating here. Make sure there's nothing wrong with those cases. I was in there with flashlights and stuff. I don't see any scoring on those, but let's get some pumps in there and hopefully that's the cure for this thing. Get the vibration that he does not like out of this thing. It was just kind of a rumble, but everybody's tolerance for vibration is different, and to him that numbed his hands. I kind of liked it, like I said before. Took me forever to figure out what he was talking about. He had put a muffler on there, and I have quite a few. If you guys ever put like a kind of an open muffler on your Spyder, it creates a little extra shake or buzz out of it that you do, which is common with a exhaust that doesn't have a lot of back pressure. I mean, that's normal with pretty much anything. Even my iron, when I put those on, all I did was put the smallest bore I could get baffled rush mufflers. Just mufflers. And I could 70, 75 down the freeway, I could see out the mirrors. Put the mufflers on there, and hopelessly you can't see nothing out of there. And so we thought maybe that's what was going on. I said it could be that. That's kind of what it reminds me of, And I went and changed the exhaust and mellowed it a little bit, but it was still there. He was still feeling it. But this has been a Spyder with an attitude. Not like I say, I like it. Kind of old school, I reckon. So how about that? All right, there's my little tech talk for the day. Give you guys a little pan of all the little stuffy here. There's these little pins. You don't want to lose these things. That's your locator pins. And the fun thing is getting the pins out of the covers. You just get, because it's not going to be reused. Just heat it with a heat gun. They slide right out. One of them stuck in the case, which you don't have to mess with that. But if you're reusing them, there's no need to take them out. But if you're replacing them and they're stuck in the cover, got two here and one there, those have to come out. Throw some heat at them. The aluminum swells quick. A very, very hardened dowel pin, she'll hang out behind there. The aluminum cover will swell up, and that you can just almost bang it and it'll fall right out. All right. I never finished my little pan here, did I? Very nice stuff. Give you a little close-up of the pump area there. That's the dual impeller pump. That's the single impeller pressure pump at the top. There's your starter clutch. It's one-way gear. There's your kind of a flywheel, so to speak, and the kind of a primary gear back there, because the primary gear is technically on the clutch side, but it's the same kind of a setup. And that is running this counterbalancer. And no, the teeth are lined up. Counterbalancers are not out of time. If those came out of time, you would not see this motor in one piece. That would be a brutal occurrence when they're gear driven like that. And the motor's never been apart. I'm the first one to ever take a cover off of this thing. Alrighty. Some scavenge pumps there. The double-decker set is in there. This is the pressure pump. Put a new pressure relief valve in there. So the box of used parts is starting to grow. The box of new, or not a box, but this is the box those came out of. That one's starting to diminish. They've got one complete pump in. I can't put the gear on because the idle gear in between, or intermediate gear, or whatever, has to go on pin put in before the outer pump gears can be put on. One thing you can be really careful with is you have to slide these pins in here, and that's what these gears pop in that way. Dude, you gotta be careful. You drop something like that and it somehow or another makes it in a hole down there, yeah, you'll be pulling the motor out to pull the belly pan off to pray that that's where it landed. Anyway, all new pump, new covers, intermediate cover. Got the dowels out of that one cover, no problem. And I have 2 pins, so I don't even have to take it out of this cover. So, pressure pump needs to be installed. The rest of it reassembled, and pray that that's the fix for the vibration. Hopefully that crank is going splish splash in the oil. That resolves the deal. Here we are. If you ever wondered well, I'll show you what it looks like when everything's together, because it just looks like a bunch of gears in there. Looks like a whole bunch of reduction gears going every which way. But I'll show you once, before we put the cover on, so you know what the left side of your bike looks like. You got all this stuff going on, all these gears. People go, I hear all this noise on the left-hand side. Yep, there's a lot of stuff moving around on the outside. The only thing stopping the sound is an aluminum cover. Alrighty. Well, hello there, YouTube. Man, it's all balmy, and I do mean balmy. 35 degrees out here.
I know.
Well, I had to turn the air conditioner on at night.
Yeah.
But I hear rain.
Yeah.
Sounds
Rain
like
at
it's
the
coming down this rain, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Not sleeting and snowing or whatever. Which I like the snow and stuff, but
Yeah.
it's supposed to be somewhat nice tomorrow.
I know.
I was thinking about going for a ride. It might be a extremely cold ride.
Yeah, very cold ride.
Yeah. So you remember the other day I was talking about the tabs, and I was missing that piece of mail. Rode the little mini bike out to the highway there. So the next day, it showed that it's in there, and I'm going, well, it looks like 2 of them in there. It is, for the DR and my Himalayan. So I never got the GT650 one. So anyway, it's cold. Time to eat. We won't roll.
Right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you tomorrow. Same smoke time, same smoke channel. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and you guys have a wonderful Saturday or Sunday.
Heck yeah. All right. We'll see what Saturday brings.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for watching now.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye.